We got some of the usual stuff here, right? Kizer paperwork. We got the koala sticker right there. Action for exploration, a wiping cloth, Kizer branded. And we got quite the sheath right here. So that tells you this is going to be no joke. Definitely one of those knives for my big knife people out there. I usually get them asking in the comments, Miguel, where the big knives at, Miguel? Where the big knives at? Listen, folks, this episode, this upload, this video is just for you. So let's go ahead and check out what this one here is all about. And man, oh man, look at the size on that thing. No, don't insert any jokes there, right? Just looking at the overall measurements. It's a little bit lengthier than other knives we've seen here by a mile. And man, oh man, this thing is insane. Now the box details, right? It's all kind of beat up and whatnot like you saw, but I believe this one is the Drop Bear Fix 7. So let's go ahead and waste no time and get in here and find out. Oh man, listen, if you're trying to get the most amount of knife for the money, this might just be it, ladies and gentlemen. This might just be it. I believe the price on this one is very affordable, somewhere in the $70 to $80 range. So that's very interesting for what a chunk of blade. Holy macaroni. We got 1095 steel on this one, which a lot of you guys said on the previous video. Also going over 1095 steel. It's pretty good for an outdoors application. Of course, it is an AEB-L design. The Drop Bear Fix 7 definitely has the Drop Bear vise, right? It is a drop point blade with a flat grind. Nice little fuller right there. That's interesting. Got plenty of jimping to go for days, even into the handle, back here into the back of the handle as well. Full tank construction, of course. Even got a little exposed portion back here as well in the handle. And yeah, needless to say, this thing is a chunker, guys. I'm surprised I can fit the whole thing here on screen without having to go ultra wide. But yeah, this is insane, ladies and gentlemen. So let's kind of break it down a little bit, right? We'll get some measurements on it as well as we go through it. But yeah, first things first, I'm drawn to the ergos, right? The ergos here are really, really good. Very similar to the Polaris, I believe, is a recent fixed blade that we also checked out here in the channel as well. And yeah, very nice and thick, also rounded, you know, kind of making really, really good, comfortable ergos all the way around. We do have more or less a Phillips kind of, you know, disassembly here, right? So you got the cross pattern right there, right? Plus sign, Phillips head. So disassembly makes it nice and easy to disassemble if you need to. This blacked out version has black G10 and a black coat on the blade. I do believe there is a satin version with green micarta available also. So that's interesting. Got a nice little hole there as well. And check out the fact that you get a forward finger choil on a fixed blade. That tells you everything you need to know. I don't think I've seen many. I mean, there's a few, right, fixed blades out there, but for this size, and you're still getting a forward finger choil right there, right, to forward choke, that is something else completely. Not to mention, obviously, you know, it has a little bit of weight to it, right? You're almost carrying a machete in your hand. So I don't think there'll be any outdoor task or anything outdoorsy that you won't be able to do with a knife like this. Got a pretty tall edge right there. Absolutely love it. Very visible, looking very nice. Very pokey tip, as you can imagine. And yeah, let's just go ahead and for giggles, we got to get some sizes on this thing, some measurements. If I could find my tape measurement, that would be great. Here we go. All right, looking at over 11 and a half, more like 11 and 3/4. So just a 1/4 inch shy from a foot. Imagine that, right? A 1/4 inch shy from 12 inches. That is insane. That blade length is going to be 6.5 inches. The cutting path is going to be 5.75, and the handle is going to be a little bit around 4.25, right, inches on the handle, including this, you know, exposed tang here as well. So from what I'm reading here, right, this back portion right here can be used as a hammer, right? You can smash things with it, you know, and whatnot, kind of like a hammer pommel right here in the back. So that is nice. You can just break some nuts or crush some things out in the wild, right? With this section, that definitely would come handy. And we have a bow drill divot right here on the handle as well, just on the one side. So if you want to start a fire with a bow drill, right, that's definitely going to come handy right there for sure. So definitely thought about that also. And again, the recent Polaris model that we looked at also has a bow drill divot as well on the handle, but in the back. So you'll see that one here in just a second. But man, that is insane. We did the measurements. Of course, we got to get a weight on this guy. All right, just a quick weigh here just to see what this one comes in at. It's going to zoom in a tad bit so I don't get any glare on the screen. Place this guy down. yeah, 12 ounces and change, right? 12.7, 12.6, equivalent of 358 grams or so, more or less, right? I see the scale kind of going back and forth, but you get the idea, somewhere on that ballpark. And of course, if we put the sheath on, which we'll do a quick overview on the sheath here in a second. This is the heck of a sheath. This thing is looking at the Titanic right now. Yeah, we're looking at over a pound, guys. 1 pound and 0.5 or 0.6 ounces. Total of 469 grams there, to be exact. So, yeah, that is quite something for sure. I mean, clearly with this size and everything in mind, it's not going to be the most featherweight, lightweight thing out there, but obviously it's going to serve its purpose here with as far as, you know, heavy duty tasks go and whatnot. Now, we got the sheath here, right? Nothing special, right? Pretty straightforward with a drain hole here in the front. The in and out experience actually feels pretty good. Enough pressure going in, taking it out. Now, I know 1095 steel is not the most corrosion resistant steel out there, so this black coat definitely is a good way to go. Unless you keep your blade clean, right? You don't just abandon it in the rain and come back a week later or something like that. But yeah, going in and out of the sheath there, pretty good. No rattles of any kind, just shaking it. And then the clip on this one's going to be this style right here. You can actually turn this one around. Basically, any given situation that you want, you can basically do all kinds of 8 different positions. So starting here at the 12 o'clock, we can go right there, half, 45, 90 degrees, 120, right, 180, and then you do the math. It just keeps going all the way around, so you can mount this thing however you want. So that is nice, right? And it might not be, you know, it's this style of clip. So if this works for you, that's fine. If you are more of a different style of clip, you know, you can always mount your own. It's very easy and simple, easy to disassemble. So that's nice. I'm just thinking, because of how tall the blade is, how far apart these two are. It's not the same distance, right, from here to here as it is from here to here. So this kind of mounting clip, right, to your belt, your backpack, what have you, absolutely makes a lot of sense. But I mean, come on now. Just the size on this thing is absolutely insane. I think we should get one other measurement here, and that is the blade stock thickness, coming in at a whopping casual 0.19 inches, right? The average in the channel being 0.12. So you can already see that this, you know, the difference there. And the thickness on the, let's see, yeah, thickest portion of the handle, 0.83 inches. The average being 0.5, so definitely a little bit thicker than your average knife. That's an understatement. But of course, this is some size comparisons, right? And then we'll do our scientific cutting test. Starting right here with smaller EDC fixed blades. I got the Vosteed Mink right there, one of my all-time favorites. Here is the Kizer Beaver, right? This is a release from this year as well. So these are going to be quite small in size. I'm just going to tell you, spoiler alert, I think this one here, this Drop Bear 7, takes the cake out of the biggest fixed blades I have. I have in my collection or rotation, so this one here has got quite the size. It's going to be a little bit challenging to find something to compare it to. Kind of stepping things up a little bit. Very affordable LynxGear D2 fixed blades, about like 30 bucks or so, around there. And the Tenable Luccio here, a bolt design, right? We're getting a little bit bigger here in size. Take a look at those. Still nowhere close to this Drop Bear Fix blade or Fix7. And last but not least, here's the Polaris. This one's also recently released. It is a bushcrafting knife. It has that bow drill divot right here in the back. It also has a very similar handle, kind of thicker in the middle, nice and rounded, right? It is a Scandi grind for bushcrafting. Check out that video here on the channel if you haven't already, but you can see the size difference right there is quite a bit. And here is the OdenWolf W Scandi, right, on D2, right, also a pretty big fixed blade. These are very affordable as well. Check them out if you haven't already. I'll have all these linked down below if you guys want to check out prices, availability, and variants. But there you have it, right? These are some of the bigger fixed blades I own, but they are nowhere near where this guy comes in at. So it's like a whole different category, whole different behemoth of a fixed blade, if you ask me. This thing is insane, absolutely crazy. Fixed blade here from Kizer. You can forward choke on it, got edge, got a cutting path here for days. Very comfortable handle, bow drill divot going on there, right? Got that hammer pommel right there in the back. I mean, you're basically set up here for a crazy outdoors camping knife. Anything you want to throw at it, this guy will do. I mean, not to mention the jimping here for days. So if you're forward choking here, you got plenty of jimping no matter what. So like Nick Shavas will say, if you walk into the Vaseline factory with this knife, yeah, it ain't going nowhere. Also like how the pinky kind of falls in the little divot area right there. That's interesting how that works. If I do the hammer grip back here, it's the middle finger that falls in there. But yeah, very, very comfortable. I can't overstate that enough. Let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. What do you guys like about it? What do you all love about it? Is there anything you dislike about it? Let me know. Saying out in the comment section down below. And of course, this knife and every other knife you saw in this video will be linked in the description and the pinned comments. Those support the channel when you use those links, whether it's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.